So welcome everybody, and thank you for coming to the orientation for Give Local Missoula 2015 Cinco de Donate. Our goal this year is $200,000 raised for 150 nonprofits from 5% of the Missoula community. So working together, I think we can do it. But first I wanted to have us all introduce ourselves, just say your name, your organization, and whether you participated before last year. And I also just want to...
So, last year we had this Giving Day, and you know, people in Missoula don't really like to do anything online. They don't email, they don't text, they don't do anything online. So, how did it go? Well, it went pretty well, and we actually, in that one 24-hour period, we got donations from 1,901 different unique donors. So that was incredibly successful, and this year we expect that it will continue to grow as the penetration, as all of you engage your networks. We'll have more and more people who are excited to give local and give to our local community here in Missoula.
Kind of our division. Imagine.
Is this me again? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So you can tell I'm very well prepared. So, you know, that's what we're really about, is Give Local is this opportunity for us to all come together, kind of put aside our competitive instincts and really work together. And what we saw last year is that we all benefit. I mean, last year, through Give Local, we raised $135,000 for Missoula. That, you know, before last year, that money, people weren't giving that money. It's not that they were giving it in other ways, it's that those were additional new donors, additional gifts. So we're really excited about the potential, and that's why we are glad to see you here today with us. And it's not just, so it's the nonprofits, which of course we care about, but it's also the donors, and it's a partnership with local businesses as well. So there's an opportunity that you'll hear about in a minute for local businesses to play a role, because it is really about our local community and all of the folks who are engaged in it. And so that's why we think this is a really exciting opportunity. So we are raising money, and we also have a stretch pool, which, did anybody participated last year, the stretch pool? So we called it a matching pool last year, but it's really a stretch pool. So it's the idea that that a donor's donation to your nonprofit is going to be stretched even further through this stretch pool that Meredith and Aaron and others are working on getting through sponsorship and other giving venues, so that we'll have, it's kind of like a separate pool of money, which we'll talk about later. That's on a different slide. I did actually look at this before I came. All right, so also it's this opportunity for us to do this Giving Day in connection with communities across the country. So this year we're really excited that there are 5 communities in Montana that are going to be doing a Give Local event that same day, and there will be hundreds more across the country. So last year, Give Local America, which is an organization, and they're the ones really pushing the May 5th date this year. On that date, all of their partners raised $53 million in one day, and that was across 120 communities for 7,000 nonprofits. So just a small percentage of that, right, that could be enough to help most of us meet our annual budget. So that's really exciting potential, and we're excited to be a part of this effort that's even greater than all of us combined. It's across our state, across our nation.
So how did this day come about? And actually, the idea came to Aaron before it came over to me. So maybe you start, and then I'll take it over, and then I'll do some.
Sure. The predecessor at the Humane Society, Angie Myers, moved from Seattle, where they have the Big Give, which is a one-day big giving effort, where they raise a couple $1 million on this one day every year. And she moved to Missoula and said, you know, I think this is something that we should bring to Missoula. And she came to me right away, and we said, you know, we think that that could be really exciting. We're all about, let's get some new donors. Let's make the fundraising pie a little bit bigger. But we don't think United Way is the right place to do it. And so we did a little research and found that in most communities, it's the community foundation that really is the backbone organization, spearheads the local giving day. And so we recruited Meredith to, we sold her on what an exciting opportunity it is for our community. So it's been really great to see it grow, and Meredith and the Community Foundation have been such great champions of this opportunity for all of our nonprofits.
And it's been a really fun partnership with the United Way, because it's just always great to have, when you have the United Way and a community foundation in the community for them to work together. So it's fantastic. It's just like this whole togetherness and the idea that the rising tide lifts all boats and the abundance mentality and all of that. That's all really what's behind this Giving Day. And so Aaron already talked about this, but it is a National Giving Day with a local impact. And Kimbia is the company that we work with that runs the website. They are working on securing some national media sponsorships as well as some national financial sponsorships. Last year they tried to secure some national sponsorships financially and didn't really have anything, so we'll see what happens this year. But we hope that that national effort will boost our efforts here locally, as well as having a statewide effort will also boost each community's effort with a fun sense of competition, but also let's see how much we can raise for Montana in one day. So really boost the impact of what we're doing in our little community. So how did we do last year? We kind of talked about it, but to break it down a little bit, so we raised $135,250.36 for 90 local nonprofits. There were 1,956 total gifts from 1,901 people. So that means that some people made more than one gift, and that is something that's really fun about Give Local. And how it works is that you can make a gift to 10 different, 20 different organizations with one transaction. So you just, I'll show you how it works. You fill in the name of the nonprofit, the amount that you want to give. The minimum amount is $10. And then you go down to the next line, and it makes it very easy. And you can do different amounts for different nonprofits. Then when you're done, then you just fill out your credit card information and you make your donation. And incidentally, you will, as a donor, you will get 10 emails if you've made 10 donations. So you get a separate email confirmation for each donation. And also the nonprofits will get all of that information as to who has donated to you. This is all covered later, but I just thought I'd say it. There'll be a little link that you'll get, and then you can go and click that link every 3 minutes, and it'll update who donated to you and how much, so you can stay right on top of that data. So anyway, back to how we did. So we raised $30,000 by 6 a.m., which was really fun. We started at midnight, and we had some prizes last year. We had $7,000 worth of prizes and $10,000 for the stretch pool. And so the first donor of the day got to select a nonprofit to give $250 to. So they might have made a gift of $10, but then they get to choose. And it's really easy for us to know who that first donor is, and we can just contact them and say, who do you want to give that money to? And just a note on how the prizes worked and how I see them working again this year is that each nonprofit can only win one prize, because we want to spread the wealth. We had like 26 prizes last year of $250 each. The denominations may be different and the number of prizes may be different, but we want to incentivize nonprofits to work hard to raise money, but we also want to make sure that everybody, the little guys and the big guys, have an equal chance to make some money. So we made $72,000 by noon, and then $135,000 at midnight. As you might expect, most of the donations came within the workday, the 8 to 5 workday. And what was really remarkable is what we tried to promote was the fact that everyone can be a philanthropist no matter how much or how little money you have. And so that's why we make the minimum donation is $10. And that message really got through. 23% of donations were $10. So that yellow pie piece. And then the black piece was under 50, donations under $50. So most people donated under $50. We didn't have a lot of large donors, but we had a large number of donors, and that's really what we're going for. You know, the idea that, you know, a college student might decide, hey, I can spend $10 on a nonprofit, maybe I won't have a couple drinks at the bar or whatever, and then maybe they get in the habit of donating if the nonprofit pulls them in after you donate that $10 and says, hey, we love you, and gets you more involved. But the idea that that person just gets into the habit of donating, and not just money but time, and just get more people involved, you know, with the whole philanthropy thing. We had Buffalo Field Campaign, really knocked it out of the park last year. They won our 2 categories, which is the most amount of money raised and the highest number of donations. They have a lot of Facebook fans. It's probably close to 20,000, and so social media is a very important way to get the word out, and so they have a big head start that way. Not all donors have to be from Missoula. They have a lot of out-of-state donors, but then the Children's Theater, or the Community Theater, did really well as well in terms of amount raised, and Forward Montana Foundation had 107 donations, which was fantastic, and they did a really good job of getting people to pledge to give and to say when they were going to give and then how they wanted to be contacted, and then they had people that contacted folks that had pledged, and so they were very successful. So that might be a tip that you guys might want to take on. So we did great. And last year we had some sponsors. The Montana Community Foundation was a major sponsor, and they will be sponsoring again this year. First Interstate Bank will also be back this year. Big Sky Commerce, we are working on finalizing an agreement to work with them as our payment processor, as they are a local company and they can offer at least the same rate as what we got last year. And they will also sponsor in some sort of financial fashion, although I'm not sure what that would be at this point. Montana Radio Company, I think, is now Missoula Broadcasting Company. But anyway, they're going to be sponsoring as well. We'll be doing a lot of radio spots and interviews and whatnot. And Missoula Indoor Ads last year, I haven't talked to them yet. And yeah, our sponsorship committee is working on sponsors for this year. Our new one is the Good Food Year. Give Local America is included to it. $53 million for 7,000 nonprofits in 120 communities. Yeah, the West did really well and kicked everybody else's butt. So anyway, well, the goal for Give Local America this year is 100 million. So we'll see. Our goal is double from last year, and their goal was almost double from last year. So, am I back to you yet? Eligibility?
I thought that the total was
53 million
total.
Yeah. Oh, eligibility. I'm still okay. So it's pretty simple to be eligible. You have to have an office in Missoula County, which could be a home office, but just a presence in Missoula County. You have to be a qualifying 501c3 organization, and we do check each organization to make sure that you're okay with the IRS, and we check each year to make sure nothing happened. And so that's pretty much it. And if you are a statewide organization with chapters, with offices in different communities, then you can participate in all those giving days. But it's just a different sign up for each community, if that's an issue for any of you. Any questions? Any questions so far? Mm-hmm.
What are the rules for sponsorship? What does that mean if a business wants to sponsor?
I have a sponsorship document that some of you took, but I didn't have enough copies for everyone. But it says Give Local Missoula 5515 on the front. And it outlines the different giving levels. And then there's another one, and Aaron can talk about it a little more, but that says additional ways to give. So a business might not want to participate financially, but they might want to offer some sort of a discount or a benefit to folks that donate. They have a little sticker, or they can show on their phone that they donated. You know, maybe Big Dipper wants to give free combs out. I don't know. We haven't talked to them yet. There's lots of ways for businesses to participate, and we do want to get businesses, as many as possible, involved in any way they want to. So we can be very creative with that. Any other questions? Okay. 2015 goals. Is that still me? Yes. Okay. I just rearranged this yesterday evening, so. Okay, so promoting online giving. This is a completely online giving day. So that's something that when you're talking to people, make sure they know that online. We're engaging new and young donors because that's where they are, is online. We want to raise $200,000 for local nonprofits. We want 5% of the community participating, which is about 3,500 people. And we want to meet the cats. We love the cats. But Bozeman is one of the communities that's participating, as well as the Flathead and Helena and Glendive. So, yes, Erin.
I just wanted to mention something really quick about promoting your online giving. Be sure that your donors know to donate through the Kimbia website and not through your own website. That happened to us last year. We had a couple people that donated through our website, but we weren't, that didn't go towards not the matching, but the stretch. Yeah. So we had to try and make that really clear that they should donate through that site.
Good point. And we will be supplying you with little badges that you can put on, or buttons you can put on your site that says, give local, give here. And even if you have the capacity to do a little pop-up, pop it up on that day, and, make sure that they put their, so just make sure it's prominent on your website. That's a really great point here.
So are all these how-tos going to be emailed to us?
Well, this will be, I have a little Google Drive where I put all kinds of information, and all this information will be there. There's other presentations, there's PowerPoint presentations, there's video presentations. We'll have more trainings. We'll have one training that's really an in-depth, like here's how things are going to go on the giving day. And then we'll also have one put on by the Montana Community Foundation on social media tips. Those will both be in April, so there'll definitely be information available. And I also send out periodic emails, so there'll be plenty of information. It's just make sure you save those emails, but everything will be on the Google Drive too. So it'll be all available.
What is your website?
Our website is MissoulaCommunityFoundation.org, but I will be, when you sign up, I will have your email address, and I have a group email that I will be sending. So that's where the information will come from. It's not going to just be publicly available, but once you're signed up and I have your email address, you'll be on the list and you'll get all the information. And you'll be able to go to that Google Drive folder at any time and find what's there. Any other questions? Okay.
So, benefits for nonprofits, why you're here today. We see a lot of positives for the nonprofits that are participating, especially because it is this broad giving day. So we are really able to engage the entire community. And like Meredith talked about, this year our goal is to really increase the donations from our Missoula population. So this is a great opportunity for us all to kind of get on the bandwagon and benefit from those kinds of increases. In past giving days, about 20% of the gifts come from brand new donors, right? What we all want, those new donors, the young people who aren't giving before. We want them to give again, to give now to us, and so that's the opportunity. And Meredith mentioned that with the Kimbia site, we have access to all of the donor details, so their contact information, their names, so that you really do have that cultivation opportunity going forward for the next year. So it's a great way to get additional donors. And then Meredith provides us, all the nonprofits, with a promotional toolkit that has, Facebook posts, tweets, even just updates for your website that we can all copy and paste. So you don't have to spend a lot of time writing those kinds of things. It's really a turnkey operation. So it's really quick and easy for all of us. And you should definitely make sure that that when you go back to the office, you Give Local Missoula page on Facebook. Meredith posts a lot of stuff on there. So we can all just share it or copy it so that we don't have, I don't have to sit there and think, what am I going to post today? I can just be like, oh, yay, like, share. And then that's a way to engage our existing audiences. And maybe some of my folks haven't heard, my donors haven't heard of some of your organizations. And so once they go on the givelocalmissoula.org site, see the list of organizations there, click on your profile, they're interested, and we just expand our networks that way. What else am I supposed to say? Oh. So since 2009, the Giving Day events like this have raised more than $200 million. So, I mean, how awesome would that be for our community, right? Like a couple million in Missoula, that could go a long way. So it's really a benefit that we see. And Meredith talked about there's the national sponsorship pool of match dollars from Give Local America. We're working on our own Give Local Missoula stretch pool. So there's some other ways for each donation that is given that day to go even farther. Based on, and those stretch pool dollars are divvied out based on the percentage of the total that your organization gets donated. All right, it's lunchtime. Okay, did I cover it? So there's a lot of benefits, especially for very little effort on our part in general as nonprofits, because we really are engaging folks through social media, online, and being able to use those turnkey toolkits that Meredith's sharing out with us. So, so there's a lot of benefits. And then this is me too, sponsored. Are we on this? Yeah, sponsored. Okay, so the Community Foundation. So Meredith takes on a lot of work in leading this effort, and one is getting the donations, the sponsorships for our local stretch pool. And right now, she's talking with 2 anonymous donors who provided $10,000 for this pool last year. And we're also looking for additional funds. So, so there's some good opportunity there for that stretch pool to be as big as last year, maybe even bigger. The common brand and the logo you can see are the M up there, and we'll all have the badges, and it's kind of cool on that one day to see everybody's Facebook, change your profile page and you can kind of see it filter around, and so there's a lot of opportunity there. But we do ask that if you are when you're promoting Give Local Missoula, that you use the common brand so that it does become kind of part of our cultural psyche that way. The nonprofit toolkit, which I mentioned, is a really great benefit, but that also is then your responsibility to actually implement. So if you sign up today for your nonprofit to be a part of it and you do nothing else and you don't share it on Facebook, you don't tweet anything, your results are going to probably show that kind of lackluster engagement, and so that's not what we want. We want you to be really involved, and Meredith does everything to make it super easy for us nonprofits. So just know that kind of it's your responsibility to be involved for your organization. We can't really do that for you. And and it's a great opportunity for another touch with your existing audiences. So it's a great reason to reach out to your board, to other volunteer committees, to your existing donors. Hey, we're part of this exciting national effort on May 5th, and I hope that you'll visit this website. Here's the link, like us on Facebook, those kinds of things, share the posts as we post them. So, so that's a lot of responsibility on all of us to really build the awareness for the day. That's how we're going to reach 20% of Missoulians, is if we kind of all pool our networks. And then the other opportunity, the other responsibility is to support our headquarters. So last year we had several we call them lounges, but several places where people could go, and we had computers set up and they could make a donation on site or get some help making their donation if they didn't feel comfortable going online and making a donation themselves. Although actually, most people were really comfortable. The Kimbia site is so intuitive that we had very few questions. It was very quiet on the helpline, which is a really good thing in terms of people needing help. And we were able to help them very quickly. So, no idea what I was going to tell you about. So this year we're just doing one headquarter location, and we'll have kind of activities throughout the day. So if you're around, we'd love to, put it down as one of your responsibilities to come to that headquarter day and participate in some of the activities, just to lend the in-person event to the virtual event so that it can be both, a community see, feel, meet people, touch, as well as that virtual online touch. And so then the other responsibility you have is your profile page for your nonprofit on the Give Local site. That's going to be populated by you. So it's what information you put up there. If you want your logo, you have to attach it. Those are your responsibilities. I think that's kind of obvious. And then if you do want to have your own organization matching fund, then your responsibility is to get those funds for yourself. That's not something that we can provide for you. And then also, we learned from doing this last year that we could really benefit from your taking pictures of the day, of whatever you're doing. If it's you sharing on Facebook, or you and your colleagues, watching that leaderboard roll up, because it's pretty cool to watch. So if you can take some pictures, we would love to have them in the files so that we could use them in videos and promotions in the years going forward, because this is something that we are hopeful will continue to be successful for Missoula and can continue to grow. So that additional support of yours in documenting the success could really help us in future promotions.
Do you guys have an Instagram?
I know Angie set one up last year, but I just need to talk to her about it and get it.
Okay.
Get a hold of it.
We've primarily been using Twitter and Facebook.
But I think Instagram would be great.
Just as a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the pictures. So the stretch pool. So just, okay, deep breath. We're going to talk about a little math, not a lot of math. So the way it works is donors give their donation, and then we have minus the fees, right? Just like any kind of credit card, because they're making credit card gifts, right? So the credit card fees are deducted, and then we have our local stretch pool, which is based on a percentage of giving. So if United Way, if we get 2% of the overall donations for that day come to United Way, then we get 2% of the stretch pool. Make sense? All right, good. You're with me, and we're talking about that. And then we add, if we win a prize, if we win the prize for the youngest donor 1 hour, woo! Then we add that to our total, and then we get the total that we will earn from Give Local Missoula. Does that make sense?
And so the 5.49% is broken down into 2.99% is what Kimbia's fee, and honestly, it's well worth it. They are fantastic, and they do a lot of work for that fee. And then the other 2.49% was the credit card processing fee. And as I mentioned, I'm working with Big Sky Commerce, and we haven't settled upon a fee, but my stipulation is that it has to be at least as low as it was last year, if not lower. So you will not be paying higher fees, and hopefully you'll be paying lower. And our $50 participation fee is deducted from your total. And if you choose to participate in the video project, then another $25 will be deducted from your total. But the video is completely optional, but it's honestly a really great deal for $25. But if you have your own video, great, you don't need to. I just wanted to clarify that. But any questions about how this all works? Because this, I think, we want to make sure everybody really understands that so that you can communicate it with your board and others.
And you know, no credit card processing is done without somebody paying the fees. So the fees, and Meredith's worked really hard negotiating with the processors to have really low fees, which, I mean, they are. Like if you do any of your credit card processing for your organization, you know, like that's pretty good. We're just at 5%, which is really good. And it's also a really great, the Kimbia site is so cool. On last year on Give Local Day, just seeing it roll, the leaderboard just rolls up and it's awesome. So it's definitely worth that. And that's why the minimum gift is $10, so that even if somebody gives the minimum, your organization is still getting an actual gift, right? Because if the minimum gift was $2, then by the time you take out the fees, then there's not much left. So we found was a good middle ground. And we had, and like Meredith said, we had a lot of $10 gifts. So we know that works for people as well.
My question's on the local stretch. With we have some businesses that are usually sponsors for us. Would we be asking them, you can have them just sponsor your page, but you could also suggest that they just be a sponsor?
Yes.
Or if they say, well, we'll give an additional $100 to this Give Local campaign, then it.
That's fantastic, and we do have
There's
another
different
$1.
ways that you might
They
want
can
to
do it. They can do it both ways. Yep. Do you have a little sponsorship form? Because it does.
I do.
$100 is what is our minimum. I mean, if they want to put in $100 towards the local effort as a whole, that's fantastic. Yeah. Other questions? Okay. 42.
Okay, so what does it take to participate? So here, the nonprofit checklist on the website.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the website, there's a nonprofit checklist that Meredith's put together, which is great. You know, print it out, check it off. That's what a checklist does, right? That's what I do. And she's going to put it in the Google Drive, which she talked about earlier, so that you'll always have access to it. And it's not a lot. You know, the first step is sign up. Does everybody sign up? Relatively painless to sign up. So that's huge. Check it off. And then you want to, use the toolkit that Meredith's going to share with us to really create your communications plan. We know that the best practices from last year are reaching out early to your existing supporters. It's not too early now to put in whatever. So if your executive director is sending a note out to your board, happy spring, don't forget that these events are coming up. Let's put in the bottom, and did you know that our organization is participating in Give Local Missoula this year, which is on May 5th. Please, click here to pledge an additional donation today. They could you could have them fill out a Google form, you could have them just email somebody, yes, I want to give on that day. Oh, that's great, how can we remind you? Oh, should I call you in the morning? Great, and then you have another reason to reach out to donors. How often do we want to call people and have them be expecting our call and answer it, right? Instead of like voicemail. So there's a lot of opportunities. And there's some really neat opportunities to be creative. So this is just mostly what we're sharing with you today are what organizations tried last year. And we'd love to have even more stories next year. So if you have an idea, go for it, try it. If you're not sure how you could implement it, then call Meredith, call me, and we can brainstorm some ideas of how to make your idea happen. And that's the opportunity with this day, is that it can really be whatever you want it to be, whatever works for your organization in terms of getting out the message so that people have the opportunity to give. And so check out the nonprofit checklist on the Google Drive.
Thank you. Okay, so now I just kind of wanted to, well, I think there's good. Let's just I'll do it. We'll go to the live site. I'll step you through the Give Local Missoula website. And this website has 3 different modes. Pre-event mode, which is what it is in now. live event mode, which is the day of the event, and then post-event mode, which is post-event, before it turns over to the next year. So, here we are at the home page of Give Local Missoula. Let's see. Where? Alright. So, yeah, if you want to scroll down. Okay, so that's our logo for this year. The superhero kind of logo, and then the other one is the Missoula Community Foundation logo. That's the M with the B. But that information, we have access to that logo in different formats. So scrolling down, we have our countdown to Giving Day. So we have 62 days until Giving Day. And then on the Giving Day, at midnight, it'll start counting up with numbers, amount donated and number of donations. And then scrolling up a little bit, or down, I guess. Sorry, down. is just a little description about Give Local, from last year, a link to the Missoula Community Foundation website. You keep scrolling down, there's a link to the Give Local America website. Here, if you think of someone who might be interested in sponsoring, you can just send them to the website, and they can click on that, and their sponsorship opportunities page will come up. And what I'll add too is the additional ways to give, because I think a lot of businesses might want to get involved in that way. So I'll add that. And then we scroll down even farther, there's the sign up. So we have step 1, which is the nonprofit. You don't have to do it.
Okay.
That one will take you to the nonprofit statement of agreement, which is a fillable PDF. You can just fill it in and save it, and then you can attach it to your nonprofit profile, or you can print it out, fill it out, scan it, or you can mail it. However, Pony Express, however you want to get it to us, you can get it to us, and then go on to step 2. And if you do want to click on that one, that is our nonprofit registration form. So if you want to scroll, oh darn it, I told them about this problem, Kimbia, this morning, and I thought they fixed it. So I apologize. Yeah, I don't know why that's happening. They'll fix it really quickly. I emailed them and it was like 15 minutes later and they fixed it. So what you should be seeing here is the registration form that you will fill out, and it gives you a place where you can write a description. And last year you could only write your mission statement, but this time it gives you more space, so you can write a longer description if you'd like. And you can upload your logo. That's where you put your nonprofit EIN number, and that's what I checked with the IRS. Please double check that that number is correct, because one organization had it in wrong, and then I was like, oh no, I had to look around. Finally I found it, but it saves me a lot of time if you can just check that number. So you fill out all the pertinent information, including your goals for the day, and if you have those nonprofit matching funds, you can check a little box. And then you just hit save, and then I see that you have submitted it, and then I will check your nonprofit status, and then I will approve you. So that's the home page. If you want to click over to the leaderboard page. And so this is where it lists all of the organizations that are registered at this point. Could you scroll down? The opportunity is not there. Anyway, no? Okay, my mistake. Anyway, and then why don't you click on one of the names of the nonprofits? How about Spirit at Play? Okay, just click on that name, and then that takes you to their nonprofit profile. And so they did a little bit longer description, but you can see the logo, and then your address, and then you have room for your website, Facebook, and Twitter account. And then on the giving day, on the left side, it will show the where people can input their credit card information and make a donation. So they can make a donation either on your profile page or on the home page on the giving day. And then, rules and FAQ and about. you might want to read those two. Those stay static throughout the, they don't change depending on whether it's the giving day or not. The two pages that change are the home page and the leaderboard. And of course, the home page, you know, the numbers will start going up in the leaderboard page, the numbers will start going up, and you can arrange by amount raised and or by gifts, number of gifts. Okay. So now, I think I will go back to the presentation. No, you're good. So I can show you the live event site. Sorry, these are rare. Oh, I have to do this right at the beginning. I just wanted to show you what the live event page looks like. Let's see. Right there. Where did it go? Apologize. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay, so the live event page. So on the giving day, this is what it will look like. So you input the organization name, the amount. You can indicate whether you're a first-time donor. Then, I mean, if they just want to do one gift, fine. Just fill out the credit card information, or they can keep filling it out and it'll automatically put another line underneath. So it does encourage people to give to more than one nonprofit in one transaction. And donors can remain anonymous if they choose. Why don't you go on to the next one?
No, wait. Shall I go there?
Maybe that's all I needed to show you. Oh, that's the post-event site. So after the event, the homepage will look like this, and if somebody needs a receipt to be resent to them, they can just input their email address and hit resend, and it'll be sent to them. Sometimes they won't get a receipt because it went into their junk mail, or they inputted the wrong, and they spelled their email address wrong or something like that. But if you have any problems, of course, we will have troubleshooting all throughout the day and night.
And you're sending out those thank yous that are tax receipts, and so then if we send out thank yous, we probably don't want to include the tax info on those.
Right, so yeah, automatically the donor will get an email, with the tax information. You are also welcome and encouraged to send the donors a thank you of your own, but you do not need to include that tax information. Good point. Any other questions? I think we need to kind of speed through the rest of this. Yeah, committee, please.
So your other opportunity is to get involved with our work to make this happen. So Meredith does a lion's share of the work on this, but there is opportunities for all of us to be involved. And this year we have several committees. We're hoping that you would choose one or more of them to really get involved. And the committees are fun too. So you want to go here?
Sure. So I already mentioned that I am the chair of the Sponsorship and Business Engagement Committee. We actually have a meeting this week. I haven't told you what it is, but it's going to be Thursday at 3 o'clock in the Swift Building Conference Room. That's just right here down on 3rd, the building with the turtle on the face of it. And so that'll be our first meeting. I've done a little preliminary research to find businesses that we could reach out to. And basically what we're working on, as Meredith already said, is to find some businesses that will sponsor us, that money will go towards the stretch pool, or have businesses offer incentives throughout the day. Like Meredith said, we can reach out to I was thinking the Kettle House, maybe you can get a free pint that day if you have a sticker that says that you gave. And then also just like getting the word out to employees about the day and encouraging them to give on that day. So if you have any ideas of potential sponsors, please forward that to me or Meredith. And if you're interested in participating on the committee, you can contact or give us your information and can help us out with that. So,
Excellent. And then I have, is there a question about the sponsorship committee?
Actually, I have just a general question. Is all of this easily accessible via a mobile device as well?
The website, no, yes, yes.
And they can go,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, mobile optimized.
Yeah, it looks good on your phone.
yeah.
Right. And then I have the privilege of working on the headquarter and day of activities committee. So if you're an event person or just have some ideas about ways that we could engage real live people in what's going to be a really fun day, then I would love to have you join our committee. We're not gonna, it's not a heavy meeting committee. We're gonna have a couple meetings here in the next few weeks, and then it'll be, we'll divide and conquer. So if you have a little bit of time and a little bit of a few ideas, we'd love to have your input on that committee. We are really excited about some of the opportunities to get folks engaged in a person-to-person way on this virtual giving day. Make it a fun, Missoula, we love our events, so that's what we are charged with making happen, the event portion of the day. And then we also have some other committees. We have the Outreach and Community Awareness Committee. You should probably
Speak to that. Yeah, and Heather Best, who's the chair, was not able to make it today, but Emily Adamson from the Humane Society is on the committee. We've got some other folks, and primarily we're going to be working on scheduling presentations to places like Rotary and Kiwanis and whatnot. Try to get our faith-based community aware and participating maybe in some way, like Adopt a Nonprofit was an idea that another community has used, but just really trying to get the word out in our community so that everybody knows that this is happening. Also, we try to get the word out to other nonprofits. So our goal is to have 150 nonprofits, and we have 65 now, and so the more nonprofits we have, obviously the more money we will raise, and the more likely we'll smash through our goal of $200,000. So if you're interested in that committee, just let me know. We are organizing a committee meeting for next week, and we really need to kind of hit the ground running because we don't have that much time left, but we have enough time to raise a lot of awareness. And then we also have the steering committee, which is really a lot more active kind of after or before things get cooking with the Giving Day. And now we have our subcommittees that are kind of really trying to get everything done. But actually I do want to have a steering committee meeting soon so we can just recap. But so if you're interested in kind of like, gosh, what happened this year and how can we do it better and helping to make sure that happens, I would say getting on the steering committee would be a good idea. And just also, if you're just interested in kind of steering, obviously, how it goes, that would be a good committee. We also have a marketing committee that is just rocking and rolling, and honestly, I don't think we need any more people for that. Jessie Colt Rogers is the head of that committee, and she's just been rocking. And Sarah McDougall is from that committee, and she is going to talk to us about the video project, which we'll do that in just a second. The other committee is the technical support committee, and I have one person on that committee, and I don't really need a lot of people, but it's people that kind of want to learn, how does this Kindia system work? How do we do a refund? Those kind of back-end kind of questions. So, maybe one or two more people, if anyone is interested in helping out with that, you can let me know. And I know we're almost at 1. So Sarah, if you want to come up and talk about the video project, that will be our last item of the day. And then if anyone has any questions, you can ask them then.
Since our theme for this year is superheroes, we're hoping today at movie making you guys come and are dressed up in costumes, and whether you have 1 to 10 people for your nonprofit, And you won't be speaking, you'll just be playing around, goofing around in front of the camera. Ahead of time, you will need to submit your superpower, because that will go on the whiteboard, and then with these movies, it will be projected with our movies, but you won't actually see it while you're videoing everything. If you don't have a costume, we will have some available for you to wear. And you can bring as many or as few people from the nonprofit as you like, between 1 to 10 people. And we will assign your time slots and let you know via an email, starting at noon on the 11th till 4 p.m. on the 25th of March. And we just want you to have fun with it and play around. So, thank you.
Yeah, so does that make sense to everybody? So we're shooting here at the Roxy on those 2 days, so you'll only shoot on one of those days. And it's I don't know if Lynn would know, she's actually a movie director, but 10-minute slots is what we said they were going to be. So it's really quick. If you have a superhero costume, bring it and wear it. If you don't, you do quick change. But as Sarah said, we won't actually be filming you speaking. But what you really need to do is think in advance of what your nonprofit superpower is in 5 words or less. So maybe it's one word, maybe it's a phrase. And once you sign up for the video, and we'll give you your time slot in an email. In that same email, there'll be a link where you can input your superpower. So on the day of the shoot, we'll have everybody's superpowers already written out. So that's something you need to think of in advance. So it's not a lot of variation allowed, just we want to make it go as quickly as possible, but have it be really fun and streamlined. And your superpowers will, hopefully you'll have like pow, in Batman, whatever the superpower is. Anyway, it'll look really cool and it'll be a lot of fun. So any questions about the video project or anything? Teresa?
I just want to know, how many people have a costume in their closet?
What? Linwood.
I was just going to let people know too, this is a really great promotion that you can use throughout before Get Local. I don't know when you're planning to get people, but we used it last year, and I think it really helps video for social media, not just having text, but video really helps. And that's a great deal, $25 to get a video.
And sharing everybody else's video. And so the idea is that the videos, we'll start releasing them a month ahead, and we'll release them, every day for that last month.
And these end up being about 10-second videos, is that correct?
I'm not sure exactly how long they'll be. They'll be about 15, I would say, 15 to 20. And then we'll have a few longer videos. They might be a minute like they were last year. Yeah, other questions? Yeah, Joanne.
So this video only features your nonprofit, like it's just for you, unlike
Yes.
some of the other ones that were like multiple spokespeople from different nonprofits last year.
So I think there will be both. I mean, you will have your own, and you might also be in one of the composite ones. But each one that signs up gets their own video. That's just that. Anything else? We're at 102. I don't want to keep anything. Okay, and if anybody wants to, now that you've heard about all the committees, you're super inspired, you want to sign up, you can just indicate which committee or committees, and if you wanted to sign up for the video project and you haven't already, then please do that. Thank you so much for coming, and just to let you know, I do have another meeting at 1:30 in here, so not to screw you out too quickly, but just let you know.
If you want to sign up, or if someone else in your organization may want to sign up, you can email me.